don't know how to show you. 140. My heart is going 140. What's up? We are back at it again with an epic game of chess where we pre-move c6 no matter what the opponent plays. And this professor, Lucifer, is about to get stomped. 5 years, 6,000 games. It's not looking good for our opponent right off the bat, simply by this little analysis of who we're facing. He sucks at bullet. He sucks. What type of move is that? That move doesn't even make sense. 5 years. So, I'm trying to do the math right quick. All you got to know is I am going into this one 10 out of 10 confidence. Plus, I'm rated, a couple points higher than our friend. So we're going to just simply trade this off, push this pawn break, and do Caro-Kann type stuff, even though this isn't a Caro-Kann. But I get into a structure that I am somewhat familiar with where we push this pawn, so we vacate the square for our knight. We put the knight there. And we're more or less happy. And I think his pawn structure is a little bit goofy. Because at some point, this square is going to be a heavy weakness in his position, in the middle of the board. So what do I think? He probably wants to put the knight there. I'm probably going to want to do something with this queen. So I'm just going to get the queen involved right now. I'm attacking this if the bishop moves. And then I'm attacking some other stuff. So I think that move makes sense. But I would like to get an attacking position, but it looks like I'm not really going to be castling on the queen side because this pawn structure is not very defensive. So we're just going to get the knight into the game. Probably we'll see this knight go to the middle, in which case I might even just attack it. I can also push. Because he has this pawn defending his pawn in the middle, if I take, he just replaces it with a pawn in the middle. I think there's no huge reason to make a rush, and I think also this pawn push at some point is going to be a little bit uncomfortable for me. But I think I'm just going to get my bishop a little bit developed. If he takes here, then I'm completely all right with it. And in this game, I'm going to focus on playing a little bit faster because the last couple of games that I have, I'm getting into incredible time pressure, a lot of time trouble, and the accuracy goes down immensely when I've only got 30 seconds on the clock. And so I'm going to try to keep my clock relative to my opponent. So if he takes a while to think, I'll take a while to think. If he doesn't, then I won't. And so one thing that I've realized with that strategy of just like maintaining an equal clock is I'm better at fast chess. I play far more bullet and far more blitz than any other. I don't play that much rapid. So when we get down to 2 minutes each, I feel like I just have an innate advantage against our opponent. One thing I'm noticing here is this trade allows my bishop to get active. And it kind of prevents this pawn push. Not 100% sure what this is doing. If he's really just trying to do a same side castle on me, I don't know how I feel about that. This attack the queen. This is a little bit scary, this fork, but I can always just take. So like say he does this knight is the only thing defending this fork. So that's something that I got to be a little bit nervous about, that's for sure. But I can always just take. But then if he takes, I take the queen. Okay, so if I take this, he basically has to take back. I think I might want to put my rook on this file because at some point I might want to open this file and have my rook preemptively situated on the closed file that is potentially going to be an open file. So do I want to do that and just open up the file for my rook? That kind of makes sense. That took away my ideas of bringing my knight into the action. So let's just blow up the position. Let's just open it up. Why not? Almost definitely we're going to see this. But in which case, he takes this way. This pawn is pinned to the king. So that is something to just take note of. So only this pawn is defending this knight. So if I play something like this, take, I can actually take here and win that pawn. So that's kind of a sneaky little move to play here. Worrying about this is not necessarily super enjoyable. And what did I say? All right, so let's just put the bishop here. If we see this, I'm going to take. If he takes, I take the queen, so he can't do that. So if he pushes, I take, he takes, then I take. If he takes, I take it back. And then I won 2 pawns. So that's like a little tactic going on. And so I'm going to have to play through these next couple moves a little bit quicker. So right now, I think I can fulfill the prophecy of take, take. Go ahead and just take the pinned pawn because it is totally pinned. He can't take with this one, so he has to take with this one. And when he does, I will take back. Now, is there anything incredibly wrong with that? I don't see it. I don't see it. There's no great attack on my queen. So that little tactical sequence definitely just won us a pawn. And a pawn that was in the center of the board doing some stuff. So I got rid of quite a crucial pawn from our opponent's side right there. And so now I'm in the mindset of I'm winning. All I have to do is not blunder, just hop into an endgame, and I should be all right. And if this knight ever moves, then my knight is going to plop himself right in the center, and he does not want that knight just applying pressure. Okay, so that... It attacks this, obviously, and this is still kind of a liability, you might want to say. So I might just scoot back 1 square. And if he goes here, then I can just the same thing. So hopefully our opponent learned. Now, this, I can just kick it out because my knight defends. Hold your horses. I'm a little bit nervous about this one. He comes in. I kick the knight. He sacrifices the rook. I cannot take the rook back because that would be checkmate. So what if I just go here to just prevent this? If I go here and he pushes and I take, then he comes through. So what I'm thinking is I need to get my pieces more or less on this side of the board. It feels like what our opponent needs to do is he's losing. He knows he's losing. So he needs to come through with a heavy attack. And if he's not able to do that, now, what's the best course of action? I can straight up just do this first. And then that does prevent this to some extent. So I think putting the knight in the middle is good. Because now this is a threat. That's just an immediate threat with the threat of me doubling my rooks. And once this is weak, then this pawn is also very weak. Okay? Let's see. I think I might even push this pawn into the middle and kind of sorry, I drank a lot of coffee today. I'm a little bit jittery, to be honest with you. I don't know what I was doing. Just drinking coffee. And so, like I said, I am a little bit losing on time. Is there anything useful that my knight can do? Now that this is undefended, that is true. So I might just give up on doing stuff over here. This bishop is kind of in a terrible square. So this bishop's responsibility has been delegated to protecting this pawn, and that is a waste of a bishop. This bishop could far more be doing some attack or like doing some better defense. Turning your bishop into a pawn trapped behind two other dark squared pawns, that's just not a good game plan. And so maybe out of desperation, he might even go ahead and sacrifice the rook to just get activity. Not convinced that that was a good move. I still am in the mindset of this queen kind of needs to get involved into the game. So I think the way I might do that is I can't really trade like that. I don't see any immediate threats. I don't feel like my queen's doing anything over here. So I think I might step on back. Take a little step back. Now this is kind of defended. My knight doesn't really have any great retreating squares. And I could now scoot my king up, scoot my rook over, and then apply more pressure on this. And hopefully that would make his rook go over here to be a little bit more defendy instead of attacky. And I might just even play it slow and push these pawns and just kind of hold down this side of the board. And then once this is held down, we can either trade pawns at some point, which I am more than happy to do. This knight is super awkwardly placed on the side of the board. Yeah, I was going to say, like, he needs to do something about this knight not being active. And I might just play it slow and push a pawn and push a pawn. And then once this is sort of solidified a little bit more, I can try to break open on this side of the board with some pawn pushes, such as boom, boom, boom. Okay, so he wants to just offer the trade. He just wants to offer the trade, knight for knight. I think I'm going to be okay with it. Definitely not crushing or anything. And maybe I just want to go ahead, slide my queen up to a little slightly more active square. And then the next thing I might do is push this pawn. And once we get this pawn going, if he doesn't take, we push further and have a passed pawn. I don't think he's going to allow that. So we're basically going to push, push, take. Then I still have a passed pawn. So let's see, take here. If he takes, then I take. If he takes, then I take. I think I'm cool with that. And now my queen is like potentially scaring stuff over here. If this bishop strays too far away from the queen side of the board, my queen might come over here. And worst case scenario is I scoop my queen in and he defends somehow and we just trade queens. And then I'm in an endgame where I'm up a pawn and you better believe I'm going to win it. So the thing to do in that situation is to have a type of endgame where I see he only has 2 pawns over here. So I'm up a pawn. So if I can like bring the battle to the queen side of the board and trade off some of the pieces, because I know that my king is over here with the passed pawns. So if we can like make some mayhem happen over here where it's like kind of important for him to like get over here. Sorry, none of those moves made sense. Then in the end game, I'll be winning. This allows a passed pawn. I think I might just invest in that right now and just say, that's cool with me. And this doesn't really work. Actually, it kind of does because there's no way for me to defend that. But this is what we would call a protected passed pawn. It is heavily defended. And I am very excited to push it across the board. So kind of going in accordance with my plan earlier, we're going to lock it down on this side of the board. I don't think that this did much other than blockade my pawn from scooting further. And we might just switch gears to scoot over here, push this. Okay. I think that was a good move by our opponent. What it does allow is me to kind of come in. I could also do this. What am I thinking? I might change my rooks, one rook over here and then this rook over here. So let's do this first. If he does push, then I'll probably come in. He has to do something. Like if I take, I don't think that's what we want. But if he does take and I take back, I'm cool with it. So if I scoot on in here, he has to defend this. He might even just do this. But in which case, I don't know. This trade I feel is kind of good for me. Probably what I really need to be going for now is to simplify the position just a tad bit. Because I've got 2 minutes. Okay, he's got 3 minutes. So I'm actually not losing on time incredibly. So he wants to defend like that. I think we slide this over, and now this is a threat. So this idea doesn't work because I'll take back like this. This pawn push doesn't work because I take back like this. So he might have to defend like this. But then I can take, and then infiltrate and really be attacking stuff. And that might be what we're trying to do here. Like, how is he going to defend this pawn? Like this? But then there's a tactic. I can take this, and this rook is looking at this queen in the face. So I played a game just yesterday and posted it, and that was the tactic. So these pawns might be weak right now because of this. Okay. So there's two things I can do here. Take. This is threatened. If he takes, I take the queen. If I take and he takes and I take, then he takes, then this is undermined. So this, then he's forced to do something. So I think we're going to do that right now. Ooh, not cool. When that happens, this happens. Okay, so we're going to go back to the thing that I calculated the second before. And we're just going to take this. Because what that does allow is the tactic to maybe work. I feel like I've screwed this up just a tad bit. Just a tad little bit. Okay. Wait, that doesn't work. I'm going to scoot this up. Scoot this up so that when I come over, that it's defending over here. And we've each got 1 minute. So basically what I need to do is not make any blunders and play quicker. But this is turned into mayhem. Absolute mayhem. So what I'm going to do is just this. And we're going to trade off everything. He can win this pawn right now. That's for sure. We're going to trade that. Not even going to think about it. But I need the position to just get a little bit simpler for me. We're then going to just double up on this. He can take here, but I'm going to take here. And then this becomes really scary for him. He can't push because I can get out of it with a check, and then here, and then check, and then I get the queen for, and then I'm just completely winning. I think we're just going to steamroll our opponent right here by sliding in. Very, very scary for our opponent right here. We then put the rook. We are attacking the queen. If the queen was able to get back in here, that would be quite scary. So he does actually want to do that. But you got to be smart here. Check. Check. Here. Take. I don't know if that works. And I'm not brave enough. 30 seconds? What do I do? He definitely wants to come here. We're going to defend like this. This check is coming. We're coming back to defend it and defend this pawn, and then this becomes a passed pawn that's scary to defend. This push, I might just threaten the queen trade. We're going to get into a time scramble, but don't worry. I'm down like a couple seconds, but I can play way quicker than this guy, I promise. So we're going to just threaten the queen trade. Threaten the queen trade. And I'm going to show you just how to completely flag this opponent. We go here. 16 seconds. Dear Lord, I'm scared. We push. Oh my goodness. We're going here. He can take, block, check. Oh my goodness. No, that hung the queen. No. No. What am I doing? Oh. Ugh. That makes me so sad. Let's check the heart rate. What am I doing? That makes me so upset. I don't know how to show you. 140. My heart is going 140. I was literally going to play this. He had 1 second. Without the computer, let me analyze. Analyze. Dude, what am I doing? Trade. Push. Check. Here. I hung the queen. Check. Only move is here. Checkmate. Because he didn't see this. Okay? Then I checked him again, and then I literally lost on time because I was going to just play this and like pre-move. How did I screw that up? How do I lose on time? It breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. Let's run it back with the computer. I'll see you over there. And here we are in the analysis, and I am embarrassed and ashamed at the quality of chess that I played there at the end. Look at this graph. Winning. Throw it away. Get it back. Throw it away. Get it back. Draw. Lose on time. It's a tale of trials and tribulations. With 64% accuracy, 8 blunders, 2 mistakes, 5 inaccuracies. And our opponent is no better with 7 blunders, 1 mistake, 6 inaccuracies. And he loses on time because I suck at pre-moving. I can't believe it. So, we can learn a lot from the beginning of that game. And every single blunder that was made was in the last, when we had less than 20 seconds. And so, we hop into it. This move made no sense. Solidify the center. Good moves so far. Always do this because we can put the knight there. Develop a knight. Develop the queen. I guess developing a minor piece first would have made more practical sense, but this is still one of the top engine lines. We go for it. Develop the bishop. This would have been a little bit more active. Now the computer is even saying like, hey, you made a mistake. Do it. So I castle. And right here was a very poor utilization of my time. I give 10% of my time away. I went from 8 minutes and 46 seconds to 7 minutes and 44 seconds. That was 10% of my time to move the rook a few squares. Like, come on now. Take. We go for this little tactic where we can win a pawn, which was quite clever by me. That is high-level chess. And then we just get the bishop out of there. It's saying put the bishop all the way back. We're not doing that. We scoot 1 back. Knight gets into the middle of the board. It's still saying put my bishop back here. We're not going to do it. And really the end game is where this game was decided. I just simply couldn't convert my advantage. We trade off the knights because I'm up a pawn. Get the queen to an active square. Go for the pawn push. Best move. He doesn't take, and now we have a passed pawn. He blockades it, and then we lock down this side of the board. Now, there was an important tactic that I missed. This move didn't make a lot of sense. I was kind of just hoping and praying for a queen trade. We get my rook active. Now, this did work because I could have taken, and then taken. And then whatever you do, this is hanging at the end. Oh, that's hard. That's tough. So I could have taken, and then if he does this, I win the rook. And if he does this, I get this rook. And if he takes, then I get this rook. And then I've just got a rook against the bishop. That was a lot to calculate. I think taking this pawn to force the rook away from this file kind of made more sense. When he didn't do that, it gives me the opportunity to double my rooks, trade off a minor piece, let's go. Double my rooks. This is now a threat, and I am completely winning with 1 minute on the clock. I don't know how I screw this away. And right here, I was even considering this, but it just doesn't work. Because it just doesn't work. Because he's just going to get in. So that's what I spent. Let's see. That's what I spent 30 seconds on thinking. I was thinking about this check. I guess I could have maybe done this, but I was also thinking about this check, which is really scary when he's just going to chase me down. You know what I mean? So in lieu of that, I brought the queen to a way less active square to defend against this check, which didn't even happen. And then this is where all the blunders take place. Blunder, blunder, blunder. This allows me to infiltrate, and then it's a mate in 3. Boom, 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 boom. Hard to see stuff like that. Hard to see stuff like that. With 20 seconds, are you kidding me? So I just was trying to get the queen off the board. We have equal time. Didn't infiltrate. Threatened the queen trade. What should I have done here? I probably should have pushed. I should have pushed this pawn, because pushing this pawn just greatly weakened my position. Another blunder, another blunder, another blunder, another blunder. Every move is a blunder. And then even in this end game, I'm winning because I can catch this pawn. For some reason, I thought I couldn't catch it. I guess I looked at this. That's because, oh my goodness. So, I'm stupid. If you do the square technique, okay? If you have a pawn, a passed pawn, and the king is outside of the square at any point, like if the king is outside of the square and it's your move, your pawn will promote. So that's all you got to do is just make a square. That was a terrible square, but you get the idea. We're trying to go like this. You make a square. If the king is anywhere outside the square and it's your move, your pawn will promote. If the king is inside, you will not promote. And so what I did very quickly is I drew the square in my mind, and I said to myself, I can't capture. But when I'm here, I'm in the square, and it's his move. So I calculated it backwards. Very quickly, I calculated that backwards. So with 8 seconds, I could have realized that I can stop this pawn. Instead of that, I decided to push, let him get a queen, and then I'm winning because I can grab this pawn. But at this point, neither of us are really going to get a checkmate. It's about who can flag the other person first. And so I start off with a check, so I have all of the advantage. Check, 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 here, hang my queen. He doesn't see it, and then this would have been mate in 2. Just plain and simple mate in 2. Didn't see it, so I went for another check. And I just spent too much time. And I was even trying to pre-move this, I believe. And I lost on time when I was trying to pre-move that because he would have taken, and then maybe I could have pre-moved that, and he'd have gone up, and I could have flagged him. I'm incredibly embarrassed. I was talking big talk at the beginning of that game, and then I just lose on time from a completely winning position because I don't know how to convert a winning position into an actual checkmate. But if you liked that video, you want to see more videos like it, go ahead, subscribe. You can go ahead, leave comments if there was some stuff that I missed in the analysis. I'm sure there was. So thank you for hanging out with me for this long, and I'll see you in the next video.